Good evening. I'll call this meeting of the Cartersville City Council to order. If you'll please stand for our invocation and pledge.
Pray with me. Our Father in heaven, we come at this time with thanksgiving in our hearts and praises on our lips. We thank you for another day. We ask you, Father, before we go any further, to look down on our fellow council person, Ms. Hard, to give her strength and courage as she convalescent heal. We miss her stay and bring her back in full fold, Father. We'll be grateful. But nevertheless, Father, as we move forward in this meeting, go with us and guide us as we make decisions that affect the city, the businesses, and the community. Father, we just thank you for all you do and for who you are. We ask these blessings in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. You want me to pledge? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Drake, the roll, please.
Harry Hyde, Ward 1.
Here.
Jay Stepp, Ward 2.
Here.
Terry Roth, Ward 3.
Here.
Calvin Cooley, Ward 4.
Here.
Gary Fox, Ward 5.
Here.
Pat Wren, Ward 6.
Here.
Thank you, Julia. The first order of business is the approval of our council meeting minutes from September 17th. Council, you've had an opportunity to look these minutes over and make any necessary changes or notes thereof. Now would be a time to pass those along, or if there are none, a motion would be in order.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And the minutes are approved. Mr. Hardegree, if you'll get us started off with SU 20-2, please.
Sure, thank you, Mayor. First, this special use permit has been properly advertised and posted. Adjacent property owners have been notified. There have been no revisions to the application since the first reading. The applicant is here tonight if you have questions, but this is for a special use permit at 410 South Tennessee Street. It's in the small strip center that's between Garrison Drive and South Bridge. Because of the zoning, the MU zoning, they are required to have a special use permit for a title pawn shop. That's the business the owner is in. Again, there's been no changes to the application. We've had no public comments since the first reading.
Okay. Thank you. Any
The
questions?
Planning Commission did approve this 4-1 last month.
Thank you. Any questions for David on this item? Thank you. I'll open up a public hearing for case SU 20-2 and ask anybody wishing to step forward, speak for or against, to do so at this time. And seeing none, I will close the public hearing for SU 20-2 and turn it over to council for consideration. Is there any discussion on the item? And if not, a motion's in order.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, council. Item carries unanimously. Next item on the agenda is the second reading of an ordinance entitled Pub Crawl Ordinance. And I know we have some people here that would like to make comments, and I'll give you an opportunity for that before any action is taken. I'll let you know, last meeting, if you were listening or were here, you know that there was a lot of discussion about the main provision that which deals with having open containers when you walk around. And after speaking with council earlier this week, the course of action that I'd like to take is, as opposed to passing an ordinance that would put something in place in perpetuity, to pass what the same ordinance that we passed in March for this specific event on October 30th and 31st to allow the DDA to have the event that they've planned. The real issue in my mind is the issue that council has thought about for the last 18 to 24 months, which is an entertainment district. It's something that other communities have in Woodstock, Kennesaw, Ackworth, and many other places. But I do think if council wanted to take this step, I think it's important that it be done publicly and that would be plenty of opportunity for the public to give input. So what I'm asking council to do is to, again, approve the same ordinance that was approved in March that would allow for this event to take place on October 30th and 31st. And then for both the meeting on October 15th and November 5th, to have an open discussion item on both of those agendas to, for council to discuss an entertainment zone and to allow the public to comment and participate in the process and give their input. And then council can make a decision as to whether or not how they want that to look, or whether they want to go forward, or whatever decision council makes. So that's what I've proposed, and I'm hopeful that council will concur with that. That being said, many people did not know that was going on. I've replied to as many emails as I could to try to get that word out, but there are people here who have taken time to be here, and I think I thank you for that, and I respect that, and I appreciate that, and I would like for you to have the opportunity to speak. So whoever is here that would like to speak, that may step forward and do so at this time, and when you do, please, your name and your address for our clerk so she can include it in the minutes. So I will open up the floor at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Brian Waters. I live at 21 Wood Forest Drive, Cartersville. And thank you, council members, and I'll be brief tonight. I really wanted to come tonight, first of all, to say my wife and I moved to Cartersville 24 years ago, and we fell in love with this community from the very first visit we had. And it wasn't just the great facilities that were in place back then, the parks, the excellent school system, the downtown area. What we really fell in love with was that community feel and that family value spirit that existed wherever we went. We decided that this was the kind of community we wanted to raise our family in. And we've raised 2 children. They've gone through the Cartersville school system. We owned and operated a business for 8 years. We've worshiped here. We've made many great friends here. And after 24 years, I have to say, Cartersville is a better place today than it was even 24 years ago. We love this town more than we did even the first visit we had here. And the reason isn't all the great accommodations like the Booth Museum or the downtown area or the great parks and recreations. It's still that family values mentality that we feel in neighborhoods, in the parks, in the shops, everywhere that we go. We wouldn't consider living anywhere else. So when this pub crawl, so-called ordinance, came up, and I had an opportunity to just weigh in on it, I wanted to share with the council. I'm probably not all that different than a lot of people. I struggled with alcohol in a big way in my life earlier on. I was introduced to alcohol by my dad, who was a heavy drinker, and the whole identity around our house was, this is what a man does, you know, he drinks, and you know, this is how he carries himself. And that's what I wanted to be, because he was my role model. He was my identity. I loved my dad. But I knew pretty early on what it was like for a young man to put on his beer muscles, have 5 or 6 drinks, and create some mayhem in town, or to even drink so much that he's throwing up behind a parked vehicle or urinating on the side of a public building. And I'm ashamed to say that I know very well what it is to stumble behind the wheel of a vehicle, get in it, swerving up and down the city streets, up on the lawns, and down the highway, taking everybody's life in my hands. Those are the real perils of excess drinking. And in my opinion, that's what the pub crawl is encouraging. It's encouraging public drunkenness. It's encouraging underage drinking. It's encouraging violence and vandalism. And it cuts at the very fiber of who we are. It certainly doesn't support the recovery efforts of this town, which I know the council and the mayor are so supportive of. It's not who Cartersville is. And for what benefit, really? For a few extra dollars for maybe the downtown area for a couple nights or a couple weekends a year? I would submit that's the lazy man's way to generate more revenue. And I would question if it's even going to happen. Over the long haul, I can guarantee you it's going to have a detrimental effect on our businesses, because the kind of people that Cartersville has attracted aren't attracted to that. Whatever the council decides in this season, and I know there's much discussion that still needs to go on, people like me aren't going to be affected by pub crawl ordinances. My relationship with alcohol has already been settled, and I don't drink and haven't drank for 30 years. But I have a granddaughter that's 8 years old. Her name's Madeline, and I'm probably like a lot of you folks, you have children or grandchildren in the elementary and middle schools. And over the next 10, 15 years, those children are going to be formulating their own relationship with alcohol use and abuse. Now, certainly the parents play the major role in setting those guardrails, no question. Hopefully our schools will educate them properly. Hopefully the churches will give them some spiritual guidance. But just like my dad set an identity in our house, the city council sets an identity for the community. And the city council of Cartersville has set an excellent identity for decades and decades. That's why we love living here. So I'm just asking, as you consider this proposal or this ordinance and its effects over the long haul, just consider who Cartersville is now and who do we want to be in the next 20 or 30 years, and what effect is that ordinance going to have on the young children today that are going to be developing their attitudes towards alcohol over the next 10 or 15 years. I thank you so much for your time today. I know there's going to be ongoing discussions. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak may do so at this time.
My name is Sam Franklin. My family has a business downtown, is a downtown business owner. I just felt the desire to want to come and share my heart with some of the decisions. I'd like to just tell you how much I appreciate you guys serving our community. I've been here 48 years, and I've never lived anywhere else. I consider Cartersville my family, and we've served Cartersville in our family business all these years. And I want to see Cartersville remain being what it is, you know. And I think in some of the changes that we look to make would just take away from what Cartersville is. I get the opportunity a lot of times as a business owner to welcome people to Cartersville by the nature of our business, and the people that come and talk about their excitement about moving here is about how Cartersville is different. And you know, I think when we look at the news and we see things going on in cities that are very, you know, concerning in our country today, I look out my window and I don't see things like that going on here. And I celebrate that. And I love Cartersville. I love our community and the leadership that you guys bring to our community, and I appreciate so much the work that you guys do. I don't really know the details of the pub crawl and the long-term plans that may be down the road for entertainment districts. I mean, just the thought of that scares me. What does an entertainment district look like? You know, but anyway, I just want to share my heart of my love of Cartersville, and I consider the community of Cartersville to be my family, and I don't have any intention of moving from Cartersville unless Cartersville became something that I felt like was I needed to protect my family by moving somewhere different. And I can't even imagine that happening. But I also get to talk to people that are planning on retiring here. You know, they're not planning on, let's move to Florida, let's move somewhere different. They want to stay here because it's such a wonderful place. It's such a wonderful community and a wonderful city to live in. And I just want to see that continue. I have probably not been a faithful member to be a part of the leadership of our city and the work that you guys do. I don't come to many city council meetings. I don't look at the videos of city council meetings, and I'm probably ashamed of that because I should be more involved. But I just felt like there was enough people that had concerns of what was being decided and going forward, people that I respect in our community that had concerns, and I just wanted to come and be a part of, and if there's decisions to go forward to be made, I'd like to hear the details and the decisions of that. But I just wanted to share my heart with you guys, and again, appreciate the work that you do and the decisions that you make. Thank you.
Mr. Franklin, can I please get your address?
It's 14 Riverside Court.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak this evening may do so at this time.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, City Council. I'm Alan Sanders. I live at 41 Whistle Stop Drive. And I just wanted to add just another layer of the conversation. I know this is something we did back in March. For those who may not know, I actually am a board member of the Downtown Development Authority. Been serving for over a year and a half now on that board. Some of the other boards I served on, including the very beginning formation of this Prevention of Alcohol Abuse organization that has now evolved into Bartow Against Drugs. One of the missions that I serve on that board is to try to make sure we are not encouraging binge drinking, underage drinking, so I'm very aware of that as an issue. I don't want anyone to think that we are advocating turning this into a college frat house. We've had the pub crawls for over 6 years now. The pub crawls themselves are a way for people to get a chance to look at local businesses, maybe go to a place that they've never been to, and it's a social event. We haven't had any legal issues in terms of police arrests. We haven't had problems with the pub crawl in the past. In March of this year, we did pass an ordinance through you and through the Alcohol Control Board at the start of the pandemic, which gave us the flexibility of being able to not feel like we have to be trapped inside, or we can stay with our group. If someone's a slower drinker, they don't have to pound to be able to leave the establishment. The idea being you can take your time, you can stay together as a group. The idea of the ordinance that we want to see, and I'm fine with what you're suggesting, Mr. Mayor, if we're going to put this in place for just one more event and then go ahead and see where we go from there, I think it's totally acceptable because it is moving us forward. We do have to remember this is a social event. Not everyone's going to enjoy it. Some people like car shows, some people like these kind of events, some people like the music downtown, but we can't come up with an event that is 100% universally loved by all. It's just going to happen. You can't please everyone. An event like this, I think, is important because it is something for adults to participate in. We are not a college frat town. We are not talking about binge drinking. The event has been going on twice a year for 6 years, and it hasn't been an issue. This allows the flexibility of keeping groups together. It allows the flexibility of not having to rush to go from place to place. And quite honestly, most people that are on the crawl are doing it to support the local businesses. They could go any night on their own and drink as much as they want if they wanted to. This is an actual event. It is something that is participatory. You have to buy your ticket, and you are limited in scope and audience. So I would hope that the listening audience and the council takes it to advisement. We are not encouraging a binge drink fest. That has not been the case in the 6 years that it's been there. The only difference is allowing the flexibility of those on it to not be indoors the whole time if they'd feel safer being outside, and not forced to have to hurry up because other people are ready to move to the next location. Thank you.
Anybody else may speak at this time? And seeing none, we will move forward, council. So any discussion, or I guess I put it in y'all's hands to take whatever action you feel you would like to take this evening.
Do we have to amend the motion in any way?
You would have to make a motion to approve the ordinance as amended. If you wanted to do what Matt has proposed.
Okay. Just to amend the date?
It actually changes a lot in the ordinance because the...
Okay. So I'm not going to say the
Right, just the date. What you need to do is say a motion to approve the ordinance as amended.
Okay. I make a motion to approve as amended.
Second. I have motion is second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed, like sign?
No.
Aye. Okay, so the motion passes 4-2, and we will move on from there. And again, the topic of entertainment districts will be on the agenda on both October the 15th and November the 5th as a discussion item. So, thank you. Ms. Reed, you have the next item, please.
All
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is actually to request a date change for an already approved event in our events calendar. And our city attorney suggested that was the best way to go about it because this event has changed due to COVID-19. It is for the Backpack Buddies 5K.
Thank you. Any discussion on this item? If there's none, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve?
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. Porter, you have the next few, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The first one is a resolution for a time change for the December 3rd meeting. That's typically when the Christmas parade is held in the evening. We're not sure if that event will still take place, but we are recommending passage of the resolution for a morning meeting on December 3rd.
All right. Any discussion on that item? And if not, a motion is in order.
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Continue on, please, Dan.
Yes, sir. This is the first reading of the ordinance for a fibercom department. The department's been around since 1998, but officially it's not been in our ordinance. I recommend on the second reading to approve the fibercom department on the city ordinance.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Last one for you, Dan.
Yes, sir. The fibercom director, if approved on the fibercom department ordinance, and the fibercom director, I'd like to at some point in time appoint a director for that department, and I recommend approval of that ordinance on the second reading.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Is this not first reading? This is first reading. This is first reading. We can't vote on it.
Well, we voted on both of them. They just don't count. So
Yeah, you can vote all you want.
that's great.
It doesn't mean anything.
Going
Believe it or not, there was a time when they used to vote on every first and second reading.
I've only been doing this 12 years. I'm still new at it. Thank you. So a non-binding vote by everybody. So congratulations on that. Good warm-ups. So very good. Mr. Sanders, please get us moving in the right direction. We can vote on this.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, Council. We recently opened bids for the annual resurfacing contract. The low bidder, we had 4 bids. The low bidder was Blunt Construction out of Marietta, Georgia. The bid was $637,589.30. We recommend award of the contract to the low bidder and are seeking permission for the mayor to sign the contract and then associated documents. The project consists of 4.23 miles of resurfacing, and this is a budgeted item.
Thank you. Any questions for Tommy on this?
Just a quick question. I know we've tried to increase this amount throughout the years. So in the years in the past, has this been about what we've been spending?
It varies. I think last year it was significantly less, but it really varies from year to year.
But I know in envisioning, we always talk.
This is the most we've spent in a long time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know, but I mean, to get our resurfacing on proper schedule, we need to spend significantly more in the future, right?
That's correct. Yeah, last year it was 3 and change, and then y'all come up with another 160 to make it really close to 500.
Yeah.
So in this year it's 740 is actually the amount we budgeted, so it is a significant increase.
We're going to try to increase it every year if we can to get up to that level to maintain the roads in a more timely, I know Tommy's given you statistics in the past about the frequency of that road repaving, and we're just going to try to do that over time if we can afford that in the budget.
Everybody loves nice roads.
Any other questions for Tommy? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Thank
Thank you.
Tommy. Mr. Hampton, you are up next, sir. Come and lighten us with your charm.
Don't throw me off. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Here tonight seeking approval for the renewal of our maintenance contract with Itron for our MV90 software. This is an annual thing we have to do that enables us to read all the meters from our large industrial customers and properly bill them It's a sole source item, it is a budgeted expense, and the amount was $12,274.14. Request your approval.
Thank you. Any discussion? And if not, a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 And motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Derek. Mr. Reinhardt, you are up next.
Honorable Mayor and Council, several departments within the city need to have some replacement vehicles. The garage posted bids on the city's website and the state procurement website. Bids were received for 5 vehicles. The awards will be as follows. Low bid for the finance department, 1/2 ton 2-wheel drive truck was Allen Vigil Ford at $21,398. The best bid for the stormwater, which is not the low bid, this is the stormwater 1/2 ton extended cab 4-wheel drive truck, was Prater Ford at $29,041.92. The low bid was Beck Auto Sales out of Florida. The garage has deemed that Prater Ford is the better suit logistically. Excuse me. The low bid for the stormwater 1-ton dump truck was Wade Ford at $42,275. The low bid for the public works 1-ton landscape truck was Prater Ford at $39,746.50. And the low bid for the water 1/2 ton truck 4-wheel drive crew cab truck was Prater Ford at $34,193.92. Excuse me, the total for all these purchases is $166,685.34. The financing mechanism for these is as follows. The finance, both stormwater trucks and public works vehicles will be purchased using the GMA lease pool. The water vehicle will be purchased using operating revenues. I recommend the purchase of the 5 vehicles as presented in the total amount of $166,685.34.
Thank you, sir. Any questions on these vehicle purchases by Mr. Reinhardt? If there are none, a motion is in order.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now a purchase is in order. Michael Hill, finish us out, please, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. It's time for us to pay up our taxes in Floyd County. We have a tax bill from these folks for $5,838.21. We're just asking for you to approve us to pay that bill.
Very good. Any questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any business that needs to come before council this evening? Come on, Derek, tell us all about it.
Sorry for throwing this on you. I forgot to say this during the work session. We got an accommodation, a national recognition from APPA for mutual aid, specifically for when we went to Welsh last month. So I just want to let you guys know that APP did send us a recommendation, actual certificate and everything. I will forward it to somebody to put on the website. It's a press release and everything. But I just want to let you guys know first.
Well, thank you and congratulations. And I know those communities, we're happy to help them. And thank you to the guys in your department that got the trucks and went out down there to help folks.
Yeah, it's brutal if you ever ride to Louisiana in a bucket truck. It's not pleasant, believe me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The worst part about it is you wake up in Louisiana.
No air.
Anything else from council? If there's none, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
There you go.